Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
So before I start, if you don't like my presentation or you don't like me, my email address is dave@teachstreet.com. The easy answer to what BuddyTV is that we're a social community around television. Whether you're a fan of Grey's Anatomy, 24, American Idol, we try to build the best fan community around those shows and build large audiences. We are the largest independently held TV community site in the world. We reach over 6 million monthly uniques. But I think the better answer to that question really is, what do our users and our advertisers think BuddyTV is? And I had a chance to talk to Suzanne, one of our users out in Virginia. She's a housewife, about 35 years old, loves CSI, loves Lost. Sidebar, I've got about 8 minutes here, but Lost is the best show on television. Don't know if you caught the finale, but John Locke 1, John Locke 2, the loophole and all that, brilliant. So Suzanne, every morning when she wakes up, she turns on her computer, logs on to BuddyTV. She rates her favorite celebrities. She reads news on her favorite TV shows. And then she connects and shares about what she watched last night on TV with her friends on BuddyTV. And I think that's really the essence of what we're trying to create on BuddyTV, is this truly connected experience around television. Everybody watches television, especially now during the recession. We find that it's a very, very compelling experience on BuddyTV. And the great thing about what we're trying to build with our TV audience is that it monetizes very well as well. So as we think about the revenue side or the advertiser side, BuddyTV essentially is the most, you were talking about the TV viewers are the most engaged in the world. So if you're thinking about launching a TV show, if you're thinking about launching a movie, if you're thinking about launching even a product, you want to target those folks that are passionate about entertainment, that talk about entertainment, and get out there and tell the world about what they like. And so if you're launching any of those products, you can ill afford not to advertise on BuddyTV. And that's the power of why the business model works for BuddyTV. I know I talk to a lot of skeptics. They're like, how do you make money on advertising? I'll tell you a couple of ways that you do that. It's through scale and it's through focus. So scale, what I mean by that is, if you have a real simple revenue model, revenue is equal to price times quantity. If quantity moves up in our business, our price actually goes up as well. So as we get bigger and bigger and bigger, we not only have more inventory, but our price also goes up. Therefore, our revenue even goes up non-linearly. So it's a beautiful model in terms of scale. And then in terms of focus, because we're not selling broad reach audiences and we're selling direct TV engaged audiences, we're able to sell direct to advertisers that really want to reach that group of folks that we have at BuddyTV. Now, what sort of competitors are we seeing in the marketplace that are competing for those same dollars? Since we're the largest independent, we're trying to chase two primary competitors, one being TV.com, which is owned by CBS, and TV Guide, which is actually a previous investor into BuddyTV. We have a significant advantage over both of them. Three ways that we have a huge advantage. One is we built our traffic from 0 up to 6 million plus. Most of the employees that are working at those companies have not done that before, and so we have extreme focus in terms of how do we execute against our strategy versus their strategy, where they really have to boil the ocean in order to succeed. The second piece is we actually understand how to monetize very, very well. Coming from our background at Aquantive and so forth, we know what it takes to make sure that we're monetizing not only on advertising, but a variety of other revenue streams as well. And lastly, my partner and I, we actually built our last company during the recession and actually had a very highly profitable company before selling to Aquantive. So we know how to manage through tough times and making hard decisions and making sure that we succeed in the long run. As we think about, hey, what's the opportunity for BuddyTV? It's tremendous. So number one, we need to get to number one. Getting to number one is it's kind of a winner-take-all strategy, and we are getting there very, very quickly. And number two is once we've owned the TV vertical, we look to what are the other opportunities that we can also own. The other ones being movies, the other ones being music and celebrities and so forth. So we do see a tremendous opportunity to become not only the largest TV destination site on the web, but also the largest entertainment destination on the web. Thanks.
Do you have any issues with the content creators and any copyright issues, or have you run into that yet?
So on the content creator side, we're great partners with ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, and so forth. They see us as buzz creators for them. So it's a very nice virtuous cycle. They'll actually fly our writers out to Fox parties, out to the set and so forth, because they want us to drive buzz and awareness for their shows. So it's a really, really nice business model for us, because they're not only content, but they're also great partners.
And what happens to you when Hulu, for example, decides to add social networking to what they do?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things that we think about. Like, sure, hey, at Facebook, they've got a tremendous community, or Google less so in terms of building this whole social community. We think there's tremendous value in focus. And so, hey, for Facebook, in order to continue to grow at the double-digit percentages and so forth, they really, again, have to boil the ocean. And we think that there's a tremendous amount of focus that you have to do in order to build a tremendous television community or entertainment community.
Well, like Hulu, right? That's the thing that I'm more worried about than
So Hulu's a great example. I think Hulu down the road will be more of a competitor. They're focused primarily on driving video views,
sure,
less so on community. So if you were to talk about the last place you'll go is Hulu, but the first place you'll hit is BuddyTV. What we hope to is to go into where Hulu is eventually going to go to, and I think Hulu will eventually come into our play. But at least right now, we think we're moving down separate tracks.
Go ahead.
Well, I was actually sort of on a similar thread to Rob. At least there's some ties to Hulu up here. More specifically, how do you view Google? Because on the one hand, YouTube is now kind of trying to follow Hulu after having Hulu been derided for quite some time. And on the other hand, I would imagine that quite a bit of your traffic comes through Google. At least first-time traffic and new uniques.
Yeah.
So where do you see Google in terms of a competitor, partner, otherwise?
So if I think about where Google is going with their business strategy, I think number one, they've got to deliver the best search experience. So, again, put yourself in a use case of, hey, I love 24. I want to find all I can about 24. Does Google want to provide that information, or does Google want to make sure that they provide the best results for that information? I would say it'd be the latter. And so if it's the latter, who's going to win that battle in terms of building the best content for exactly what that 24 user wants? We believe our approach is much more synonymous with Google than a Hulu, because we're providing the content that's around that specific topic that they're looking for. And it's already proven out. If you were to look for American Idol right now, we're number 3 on there. If you're looking for any of the big shows, The Bachelor and so forth, we're either 2 or 3. It's a tremendous source, but we've got to keep delivering on making sure that we have the best experience for the person looking for that search result. And we think that's content, not necessarily the viewing experience, but the content and the community around that specific content.
Hey, Andy, after your sale of net conversions, to always be thinking about what the end game is. So let me extend the dialogue. Who buys you?
That's a good question. I don't know if this is the forum to state it, but we've had multiple opportunities to partner up with other firms. It's one of those things where I think it's a phenomenal opportunity for people who are trying to buy leadership. And so we have leadership in television. So if you want to, if you're a large portal, if you're a large cable provider, whatever you are going to want to own the largest television destination site on the web. It's already been bought several times ahead of us. TV Guide has been bought 3 times, and so has TV.com.
Hey, Andy, what's your strategy weighting between what you might consider sort of curated content and other forms of sort of professionally generated content, and then how that's used to seed UGC content on your site? What's the strategy there?
That's a great question. One that we're discussing internally is the number one lens that we look to when we decide what to put on BuddyTV is ultimately what's the most compelling content that a fan would want to see. And so if we're putting a bunch of UGC that people are putting on like, oh, that was awesome, it's just not that compelling. So we are looking for curated content, editorial content, and also user-generated content that is actually mediated. So we actually do curate it and make sure that every time you come onto that page, it's the most compelling experience ever for a fan of that site. So we cannot afford to lose any visitors that visit that page.
How do you think you compete against the studios creating their own fan sites per show when they're going to be able to offer up actors, characters, future plot twists, etc.? I mean, it seems like as soon as the studios get wise to building the fan base off air, you might have some competitive issues. Right?
Yeah, so two things. One is what we've realized from our fans is that they want the non-official version of the show, because what happens, you go onto ABC's version of Lost, it seems like every episode is just the hottest episode ever. But if you come to our episode, we will tell you, dude, that was a filler episode that sucked, and this is the reasons why. And so people really want to see, real feelings about that show. So that's one thing that we can deliver. The second thing we can deliver is because we have a wide audience, these studios can ill afford to just focus on their own shows. They need us when we have a wide variety of fans on other shows that we can deliver to them as well. So it's a tremendous opportunity for folks that are looking for audiences. Thanks.